now
to the next
go on
one.
to these little questions,
That's
which
fine.
we have to ask from her. The first one that is really a burning one, a burning question, is you started in the municipality, Mr. Pele in particular, because he promised that his claim to fame was that's his project to put that pipeline in, the new pipeline that you will put on, link it to that one valve here on pump number 3 or whatever, to pump to
Number one. Reservoir number 1.
Yeah. Now, he promised there that it will be within 6 months. And it could have been done in 6 months. But on the 22nd of August, there was not even close. We had a meeting with you here, you remember the media meeting, where he said it was 90% finished, so it would take another week or 2, 3, then it'll be there. And then the problem came in. He said that he's awaiting approval from the roads department to get the pipe over or underneath the R59. Now my question is, it's not been done. And he promised if it's not done by that time, he will resign, which he didn't do. He's still around, I see. But my question is, how can you start the project if the plans and all department approvals are not in place? I mean, that was 6 months after they started with the project. You haven't had the approvals from all the departments. That's why they couldn't go underneath the road. How could they allow a project like that to start with no approvals in place? Can we have an answer on that? And what's happening with that pipe? Because I was there this morning to check, there's nothing. So when will that plan come in work? Because that could have solved a lot of problems.
Okay. Thank you for that question as well. The plan of getting that pipeline working we've not left it, or it's not left abandoned and so forth. Yes, indeed, that there have been challenges in terms of the last part, which is the part that you've just raised in terms of the R59. The initial thinking or belief was that the portion that we're talking about was municipal infrastructure. Up until then, we realized that, but it's between the municipality and the provincial road, the R59. So we then had to do the application thereof. And he has done that. So now one issue that was a disagreeing factor, which I disagree with them, was to say that you can't just, we need to explore proper avenues to say that if you are going to drill, how much is it going to cost us for the drilling? Or if you're just going to take an excavator and just, and that one I'm not supporting because it's going to damage the infrastructure. So that's where we are. I had a meeting with him on Monday discussing the very same project to say that you're going to have to come with a solution and look at the cost thereof. And he raised the issue of, okay, this of the excavator would have been quicker, but you can't have that. You're damaging the road. So we are currently exploring and wanting to understand the cost in terms of drilling and having the necessary technology. Or how much is that going to cost us? If there's someone that has an idea, they can come forward and say to us, this is what we know, this is how you can use it. And yes, there has been engagement with the departments in terms of having to assist us with this. We have also engaged the COGTA around the very same matter to speed up the process of us getting the approval to say we must go through that process of drilling. But COGTA also raised the issue of saying we need to have proper engineers to tell us on this process. So it's not just a process that you as a municipality can just say you're going to do it. So that's where the issues are. We don't want to do projects that are not going to work. Yes, now and then you will come back and ask people about it to say that we want to give our people water, we agreed upon this thing, but let's follow proper procedures day and day. So that is mainly part and parcel of the reasons why.
Right, now on that point then, if that thing was so poorly planned, because that's what it was. What about the new projects? Are there decent plans in place for what's happening now?
Okay. Yes, there is definitely decent plans in terms of what is happening now. You've
And
got
approved.
and approved, because remember, all projects goes on a business plan and gets approved by DWS. So it is approved, and we've got an oversight by DWS. If it's a MIC program or funding, we've got that. We got that planning, so the approval as well. Now, the issue is that what we have done as well as the council now, we've indicated that all the projects that have started now recently, we are going to do our oversight. We're doing our oversight. The infrastructure committee is doing their oversight. Every week we're sitting down where we pick up a problem. We immediately go to the accounting officer as the political heads now doing our oversight, and we indicate, and sometimes we even pick up things that they don't pick up as administration, and we say that, but this project cannot work because what's the point of not having water currently in Paris, and then once the project is done, there still won't be water. So best we look at all the issues now, so that oversight is happening.
Right, my next question, that's my personal question, is I want the reasons, not excuses. Why did your executive allow this situation to get to where it is now? I mean, everything was basically working. Why is it so? Why did you allow it to get so bad?
No, it's not that we have allowed everything. You see, one thing that I said to councillors is that we started seeing the problems after January when we started removing, when the community removed JoJo's and said they don't want trucks anymore. That's why you started actually seeing that, oh, there has been this problem, serious problem of water in Paris. So, yes. And actually when you look at a report that was done by one professor that is doing, she was doing her thesis on the issue of Paris, she actually indicated that the problem started in 2009. Not even 2017. And the warning signs have been there since 2009 on that where we are. Now, because of aging infrastructure, and this is not excuses, because of aging infrastructure that we are faced with, because of the water treatment plant on its own not being able to work, is where we are today. So we have not just decided that this problem will start. It's legacy issues, and unfortunately it caught up with this administration, and we have to own up to it, and we are owning up to it.
Okay, all right. It's not a clear answer, but all right. Let's get into the next question. You sent, I think it's 43 million back. Why wasn't it used? And maybe applied to where it was supposed to be applied?
You know, if you go to the Auditor General report that is about to be released, one of the issues that I've always consistently raised was to say that I hear that people are saying you're not spending the money, but why should you spend money on something that's not there? Value for money is important. And the Auditor General report now indicates that there's certain projects that happened, the Paris Water Treatment Plant 2019, the Freda Fort, all those Eatonville, copies to Eatonville, that we must look into those projects because there hasn't really been work done. So you can't pay someone for work that is not there. That is the main reason why.
Yeah, but we hear always what the people were and what they did. You can see it in the groups discussed. There is the money, but we always hear there is no money. Now, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that is the problem. We hear there's no money to do something, but then we see this. Now,
okay.
How?
Maybe we must clarify grants money and municipal income that comes from the communities and so forth. Grants money are specifically for the grants. It is not for any other service delivery projects or what we need to give community for service delivery. Now, if grants are conditional and you need to spend it on a project that you are doing as an institution, you need to spend it for that. So it does not mean as an institution in the income that we are making, because we're not even at the 90% of revenue collection that is expected from a municipality. But this is mainly based on grants. And I'm still reiterating, if the community wants to fight Victoria, because Victoria took a stance to say that I cannot use public funds for something that is not there.
Can I ask a question on that? Was there grants or money allocated to fix the roads?
When we came in, we did not get any funds for the roads. It has always been in-house. We don't have a grant for that.
So, but what the in-house spend or budget wasn't there then to fix it up because it's in a terrible state.
The roads are in a terrible state. We are trying where we try, to just fill a pothole now and then. When the rain comes again, it goes back and so forth. But in all honesty, like I've indicated, I'm not even collecting more. The municipality was at 53%, but it's going down. So our collection rate is very low. Even if you wanted to provide services, the collection rate is low.
It's going to go into worse anyway. That I know. Okay. Now from side Northwest side. We had meetings that was promised, that Tuesday meetings. Up until May we had them, and then they were just postponed or cancelled, and we never had any meetings again. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, the reason for that is basically because of when we were trying to have progress on those meetings, every week there's another person that comes in and takes the meetings backwards.
From where, these people? Who was it, the different groups?
Different groups will send in a different person and so forth. And then what was frustrating about those meetings is that the one that came in at the starting point might have not given feedback to the one that they sent into that meeting. And then a totally different point comes. Even when our ideas need to come together, someone will just come and say, no. So you can't have such meetings with people that are not looking for progress.
Yeah. All right. We were really trying to progress, but okay. The other one was the call center or the problem center. Since last year, okay, we've put ours in place. It's working on our side. We bringing all those messages through because there's only a guy sitting with a phone, but it's not. What's on your side? There's nothing. What's happening there?
In terms of the call center, like you're saying, we even went to an exchange with Safe wanted to give training to our very same people that's supposed to deal with the call center. And, now and then, if incompetency is a problem, it will always be a problem. We are seriously trying because there is in my office a lady that is dealing, and most of the time she deals with the stats that comes from because Safe Mwati will always send and look at the red dots, and now and then, after she does that, she would send it to the relevant departments. So clearly, we have had a discussion with the MMC of Corporate Services, and we said there is a need for change, because now it looks like us as councillors, we are incompetent, whereas we need to change the mentality of what's happening inside of the municipality.
Now, why don't you take some serious stand about it and get that municipality sorted out?
Hopefully in the
because there is no disciplinary happening there that we know.
One of the issues that I've identified, you get lessons, because even if you are first time in something, in between there's lessons that you need to learn. And I must say to the community is that a lesson that we have learned is that if you do not have permanent people in positions, especially your senior managers, no one really wants to take action against.
Why is that? Why is there not people in permanent positions?
No, we have advertised, we are done with the short listings, and we're hoping by the end, before we close on the 14th of December, Council would have done appointments from the CFO, Director Corporate Services, Community Services, and then when we start the new year, everyone will be in place. No, definitely we've started the processes.
Right, then this is another question. I don't know if you can answer this one on behalf of Mr. Pele. When we have meetings with the Department of Water and Sanitation, we are not, Mr. Pele doesn't allow us, he chases out. He doesn't want us there. Why?
Maybe it's because it's an administrative process and the issues with stakeholder relations would be a different issue. Now, that's where I want to come in, that recently we were called by the Minister for COGTA. And there's this program that they've put in, which is the small town regeneration program, which has all those relevant stakeholders in it, which will deal with electricity, water, and sanitation. And There is a meeting that was initiated, but because during at that period when it was initiated, I was writing my exams, and I have responded to say that we will have our meeting before the end of the year, which there is already names that were submitted, and I think Karin from Safe Mwate is part of that small town regeneration meeting, which will be discussing the critical issues by the initiative, and COCTA is involved in this process.
Okay, all right, let's carry on. I don't want to keep you so long. That we were talking earlier about that letter that was written on the 17th of November to a letter was sent to the Minister of Water and Sanitation on 17th of November 2023. Did you receive any feedback from them yet?
You know, I'm not aware of the letter that you're saying has been sent, but in terms of engagements to solve, the current engagements that I'm currently having is progress, what is the challenges at the water treatment plant, how far are you guys? So those are the constant, and I think that's why even now there's so much focus that has been given to the water treatment plant in Paris. So it might be because of that as well, but beyond that, we are talking about solving the problems of Paris.
Then the other question was there communication yet the last past week from the President's office via the Premier's office regarding the situation in Natwe?
We had a meeting with the Office of the Premier coming from, I think it was coming from the issue of the water and so forth. So they did come down. We explained the situation. They visit even the water treatment plant, and that's why they also now looking how best can they help us in terms of funding.
All right. The next one was clarify. Is there a list, a to-do list at the water plant right now? What is being done on that list, and what needs to be done so that we can have water? I'm going to bring in a point which I brought last year. Do you remember we talked? The Christmas festival is going to happen again now, next week, where there's 500 horses coming in, with 500 grooms, with about 2,000 to 3,000 people into this town, and there's no water. What's the situation? What are we going to do next week with all those people coming in and we can't supply? What are we going to do about that?
On this one,
the second year, last year there was already the solution will not have a problem now. It's more serious than last year.
Yes, and now because there's work on the water treatment plant and there's no water, it's worse. So basically, now that you have said this, can you allow me to sit down with my team and see how do we come up with a contingency plan on the event itself? Let me call in my LED team, and then we come up with a contingency plan to see how do we assist.
You see, the problem is not at the showgrounds. They've got boreholes. At least those will be sorted there on their own. They will do it because they do the job for the municipality on their belt. But we're sitting with about 1,000 to 2,000 people coming into town, in town where there's now. How are we going to address that?
Yeah, that's why when I said that, can I sit down with my team and look into a contingency plan? Remember, I just indicated that you ask a to-do list. Unfortunately, we had to go back to the consultants and contractors to say that your to-do list is based on the plan that you have, and it is currently not working for us. So redivert first and make sure that we have that filter 5 to increase the capacity of water, and then you will go back to your initial to-do list to do the work. They've given me the 2 weeks. They've given me the 2 weeks for us to do the work, and the councillors tasked to do the oversight thereof will be held accountable to do it because we need water. It is really bad. It is also so unfortunate because it's killing businesses in Paris. It's killing the businesses, it's killing the 2,000 people that you're talking about. How do you go to a guest house that does not have water? It kills businesses, even the restaurants, It's so unfortunate that when you move around, you start seeing restaurants closing, people selling because of the water situation. And anyone knows for a town to grow, if your water and electricity is not stable, you're not going to grow.
Now, there you mentioned that electricity is not stable. I don't want to call it a rumor, I know it's a fact. 5 million rand has been approved by COCTA to have a direct line so that there's no load shedding at the water plant. Can you
The last time if you say it's a fact, the last time I checked, we had to submit a proposal for the approval of the 5 million rands. Now, if you say it's a fact, whereas us as a municipality have not yet gotten that approval, but the business plan is there. What I know for a fact that is what we have been assisted with now is to fix the mini sub that blew sometime, and it just messed up the issue of the water treatment and the area around the hospital view side. So we are fixing that mini sub. We have been approved there. And you know, the unfortunate part about the electricity in Paris is that, and we're sitting on a ticking time bomb, I must indicate that. For years, there hasn't been maintenance. For years, things have been stolen. Recently with the load shedding, when you wake up, something has been stolen, you know. So we are at this stage, and few months ago, we had a special operation, which I believe assisted us, where we had a special operation with a special force that were able to monitor the cable theft that we have. And once they left, it started over again. And now when we're at stage 6, it starts again because there's no electricity, you don't know where to go. But we have submitted a business plan to ISA, which is that gives the infrastructural grants to water, sanitation, and electricity. We have submitted the business plan. Until today, we are waiting, and that plan was submitted last year in May.
But can't you, from your side, do something about it? The other question I wanted to ask is, you know, this cable theft. There must be a way to stop it, because I can tell you in my experience while I was working in Johannesburg, there's certain dates that happen, and then you can put somewhere. Is there anything happening here to try and cope with this problem?
We will have to go back to the special operation again. And I must indicate, it costed the municipality because we had to bring in people, special force, and the municipality had to pay for that.
They're paying now for repairing all the time.
And it's like you're saying, but last week I called again and requested for assistance, because it's really it's bad, it's terrible, because you don't have water, then it's electricity. So it's basically as if we don't know what we're doing.
Thank you. I think we stop it there. There's a couple of others, but we can do it on another one. This one is now long enough. It'll keep your people.
Yeah, but can I also just talk about, I did not exclude the public from any meeting. The meeting was just initially for councillors. You know, one thing that one needs to clarify as well is that the importance of public participation. Public participation says a ward councillor must call its constituency now and then and give feedback on what is happening. And that's why when I come in as the executive mayor, I will call councillors and say, councillors, this is what's happening, with the expectations that they are ward councillors and they have got their constituency, and they will give the constituency feedback. So I'm not closing out anyone.
I understand that, but then maybe what you should do is talk to those councillors and get them to do their jobs.
I'll do that.
You have to do that. Because otherwise we'll have to do this.
Yeah. So I end up doing work that's not mine. So it's fine.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll have water within 2 weeks.